we've seen a lot of pretty Mustangs, fast Mustangs. We've done a ton of burnouts. We typically walk away anytime you think something like 4-cylinder, but this one's a little bit different.
Man, is it ever. We told you before, 310 horsepower, 320 foot-pounds of torque, something that out of a 4-cylinder was never possible a decade, 2 decades ago, but now you see it, and I'm telling you, man, you pull up beside this car in a V8 and you're gonna have your hands full.
Yeah, you better be on your game. Now you still got the advantage, but it's a smaller margin than you ever thought. Now they've tried 4-cylinders back in the day, right? I mean, 84, 85,
man,
the SVO Mustang.
The SVO Mustang came out in 85 and a half. It was rated about 200 horsepower. But then a 4-cylinder, even with that turbocharger, I mean, it was pretty bold, 200 horsepower back in the day, but that specialty vehicles operation group, man, they would love to see something like this. Yeah. Let's dive into this and we'll show you some of the technology. I mean, right out of the gate, you see some of the coil packs up here. Over on this side, man, this is where it gets really good. Over this little Honeywell turbo right down in here. It looks to the naked eye so tiny, but man, that thing can throw down some power.
It is spooling up. Now what's cool is there's kind of a technology bundle going on. So up front, we've got our cam phasers. So they're gonna be moving our cams around, giving us, as if we had infinite kind of cams in there for low power
more
torque
overlap, fuel, emissions, efficiency.
We got our solenoids controlling them, and as Willie mentioned, we've got the turbo over there, but it's a twin scroll, so it's a really high-tech turbo. It actually takes the cylinders across all 4 and separates 2 from the other 2 so they don't interfere, right? And they go feed separately all the way into the turbine, right, to make big power.
Indeed, and some great technology over on Kevin's side. Why don't you explain what's going on underneath that intake?
Yes, we've got our intake runners here, right? They're feeding into the ports of the cylinder head. Now underneath, there's a fuel rail on the bottom side, and there's DI, so direct injection. Injector sitting right there, going right into the combustion chamber, spraying that fuel as it's getting all pushed in by that big turbo.
Yeah, now what all that technology means is more horsepower, more torque, more efficiency. You know, you add air, you add fuel, you get power, and this does a great job at it, but we can't leave well enough alone.
Never, never.
It is a 4-cylinder, and we're gonna upgrade it.
We're gonna make that little bitty march towards that 400 number, because, you know, it's right around the corner. So, all right, we got a big intercooler sitting over here behind Willie. We're gonna grab some tools. We'll walk you through this Wagner intercooler we're gonna throw on. We're gonna have some fun today.
Hey, controlling air inlet temperature is probably one of the most important things with any boosted application. And the #1 way to do that is with an intercooler. Now, this is from Wagner Tuning. It's their Evo 1 competition kit. This is a great piece right here.
Yeah, and there's a lot of details in here, because why you even need it is you're compressing air with the turbo, and that's heating it up. And you got to get it cooled back down through this guy, and the better you can do it, again, the more power.
45% more frontal surface area, 130% more volume, and some of the great designs we see right out of the gate is this air catch. A lot of times when that air is coming through here, it shears off the face of it and just goes over top or side. Well, here, it hits this air dam right here, kind of forces it through the intercooler.
Yeah, it's a bigger gulp of air going through there. Now the tanks are really what pulls this thing together. You can see the different thicknesses here. They're really trying to maximize package space and getting cooling, but the cast aluminum tanks really let you get better flow shapes in and out of this thing, so it's more efficient. You get the air distributed right, and you're not picking up heat by bouncing around and taking sharp corners.
Now look, if the Evo 1 kit isn't enough for you, and in true Two Guys Garage fashion, we give you the Evo 2 competition. Now this is 175% more frontal area, about 226% more volume in this thing. It's really moving some air.
Pretty cool, but what's cooler is actually getting it in the car. So we're gonna get our competition 1 set up, grab a couple tools, get her installed, and then we can start turning those dials up, man.
Yes, we can. Now we're trimming this lower piece of the air diffuser off because, you know, the factory has it there to help fuel mileage and create a little downforce. We don't need it because we want that intercooler to ingest as much air as possible. So quick trim, and we'll get this top piece back in there.
All right, to really get diving in here, we had to pull the under tray, and then get to the fascia, the inner fenders, to make a lot of access space. We've got a few other goodies to pull out, and we get the old intercooler out, get the new one placed in. This thing fits great. It's going to make a lot better cooling for all the ads we're going to do right after this break. So stick around. We've got some more tuning coming up. Hey, welcome back to our EcoBoost Mustang project. Now, you didn't think we were just going to put in our Wagner intercooler and call it a day, did you?
No, not a chance. When it comes to upgrades, we don't stop at one intercooler. No, we got to get cold air on top of the motor as well.
Yeah, so we went with Livernois Motorsports. This is their Mustang EcoBoost Level 1 bundle.
You got the Windstorm, okay, cold air intake system. You have the tuner, which is pretty awesome, and the even flow thermostat, which is going to drop those temps down to about 160. Simple, easy to put together, man, and it's everything you need to make it work, including the trick, the tuner.
Yeah, so along with the power, we're going to get drivability, right? We're going to get better throttle response, and ultimately, you know, the wow factor.
Yeah, more power. We're talking maybe 400 out of a 4-cylinder, just mind blown.
Yeah, so let's get this thing in here. We'll get the parts swapped in, then we can throw the tune in there and really be ready to rock. All right, finishing up the last steps on our Livernois Motorsports. This is our EcoBoost Level 1 kit. It's just putting in the tune. So we downloaded our original factory tune, sent it to them. They've coded in the new one, specifically this engine. Now all I gotta do is, boop, pop it in. So following the little simple instructions, yes and no, and we're all set. So we're gonna get that 90 foot-pounds, 90 horsepower. We're gonna take the speed limiter off that the factory put on there, so it's unlimited, cool, and you got factory lifetime tunes. So great way to go, man, because you can always keep upgrading. We're about wrapped up on this project. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to start to see that 73 step-side Chevy truck back in the shop. Stick around.
So anytime you're doing performance upgrades, it's a great idea to upgrade your fasteners too. And this includes your head studs, especially if you're installing something like, you know, an aftermarket turbo or a supercharger, because adding boost pressure puts a greater demand on your actual fasteners. And those torque to yield, you know, bolts that come from the factory, really not always designed to handle that increased performance from an aftermarket power add-on. Now this is a great opportunity for you to swap those original bolts and go with reliable premium hardware like these head studs from ARP. Now ARP head studs are engineered to handle that increased combustion pressure, and they're made of high-strength, premium grade alloy to provide more consistent clamp loads. So you can rest assured knowing these head studs will stand that test when you're bringing on that power. And the kits come with all the necessary hardware, including washers, nuts, and ultra torque lube, making it easy to replace your factory bolts. ARP offers over 600 different head stud kits for almost any domestic or import application, all manufactured in-house right here in the USA.
This tip is brought to you by ARP, the world leader in fastener technology.
Hey, welcome back. We're just about wrapped up on the Mustang project. We got one cool little thing to show you, and that's the technology in drive-by-wire. So no longer do you have a throttle pedal and a cable to your throttle, so you get this one-to-one. You have drive-by-wire, so you can do something over here, then your computer decides what to do over here.
Exactly. You're matting it, right? But the blade on the throttle body, it may take some time. Now here's where the factory guys, the OE guys, thought most of the consumers out there would like it. So as you can tell, it's a very gradual opening, you know? So, I mean,
it's
even
nice and friendly.
Yeah, even when I'm matted, it still takes a while to transition from that closed position to the all-way wide open position.
We'll introduce something so simple, Sprint Booster. It's really a little inline pigtail with some computer stuff in there to change the signal. So now you have the ability to make that do what you want instead of what the OE thought you might want to hang out and get groceries and stuff, right?
Nobody wants to drive with that throttle body opening that slow. You want to ramp it up. There's factory.
That's not a burnout.
Now,
that's kind of a burnout.
Yeah, that's a little aggressive.
Now go all the way, man.
Now, for all my friends born in the guillotine times, you may recall how fast that blade came down. Boom.
That is a burnout, man.
Yeah, man.
So you have 3 different options or multiple options with the switch, and you can run it or not run it. So on the fly, you can change how this operates. And you wouldn't believe the difference in feel, just like in these new like drive-by wires, right? You can change, you know, kind of the action and the feel in your steering. The pedal is right there with you.
And it's all about that throttle response, where you feel comfortable when you tip in. Like if you want it instantaneously, right? You want to get that aggressive setting, bam, it's right there.
So these guys have it for 3,600 vehicles, gasoline, diesel. It's a really cool, simple thing. It's literally plug this guy in. So anyway, we're gonna get that installed, so we're gonna go have a lot of fun with this thing. Hope you enjoyed.
Yeah.
You know, we got this big upgrade on tune. We had some fun with our truck, hung some metal, got some doors on it. So we're out of time, man.
You guys take care. Hope you learned something today, man. 400 horsepower, 4-cylinder. Broke.